Hey guys, Youngblood Fantasy 91 here. This is a response to all the people who've been making multidimensional commentaries recently, and to all the people who are overreacting about these multidimensional commentaries, and just the overall discussion that has started in regards to these multidimensional commentaries, and pretty much the furor that is generated and the fracas that has erupted as a result. So, what do I have to say concerning all this? Well, this is something that really hits home for me because, as you can clearly tell, I'm a member of the community, and I feel I want to say certain things about it, especially when I know that the whole multidimensional commentary issue has its roots back years ago. I remember young author Adam making a fifth dimensional commentary. I remember Shadowstar making a fourth dimensional commentary, and in both instances they were very hard to follow. They overall weren't that bad, although let's be honest, Shadowstar is completely monotone. Well, back in that part of the commentary history, yes. But, I mean, young author Adam wasn't that bad, but, it was so hard to keep track of everybody that has been commentating on the video. So, literally, I made a rant about this a long time ago, concerning commentary overkill and my thoughts about being completely hesitant to make these things. Now, since everyone has been making, these multidimensional commentaries, I just want to put everything in perspective, okay? This whole thing with the multidimensional commentaries thing is such a subjective thing to talk about. All this is subjective. The bandwagon idea is subjective. The multidimensional commentary thing is subjective. And even the targets are subjective. I know I said that people sometimes milk the targets dry, but that was a subjective interpretation on my end. And it really should not be enforced as canon law. No one should make anything canon law in the commentary community. There really isn't a set constitution or rules to, make your commentaries. Of course, there are certain commonalities that all commentaries share, and that I understand, but they all are varied in the sense that they are a diverse series, building on a fundamental set of principles or a fundamental set of video techniques that are used and utilized. Commentary is another word for, a set of conventions rather than rules. And you can break conventions. That's why when there's commentators that are innovative in the sense that they do different things, then these people are given respect because they break convention but at the same time entertain. That is the main focus of commentaries. And apparently, the whole multidimensional commentary thing all comes down to subjective interpretation. So, here I provided two charts to describe everything that's been going on. This is a pictorial representation because I think in pictures, and I feel it would be a best representation to describe everything. Now, this chart that you're seeing on your screen right now is pretty much a chronological series of events that has went on in regards to the whole multidimensional commentary thing. So if you ever were wondering about the whole multidimensional commentary issue, here it is pictorially for you. I think in pictures, so this is how I thought of the whole thing. This is how I seen it in my mind. I mean, not exactly, but you get my point. So, at the beginning of the chart, we see Sailor Moon Red 1. Sailor Moon Red 1 is pretty much the root of all evil in regards to this, and all these other commentaries appeared, and all these other commentators just came out of nowhere because of Sailor Moon Red 1, whether it was directly or indirectly. Now, here's what I have to say about Sailor Moon Red 1. This guy is old news. This guy is something I cannot talk about. Too many people have just jumped in on the issue, and they all said what was needed to be said about him. I mean, I could have said that he is a man-child who just is too cowardly and craven to actually use his own opinions, so he transfers his voice to inanimate Sailor Moon objects just so he can feel better about himself. I mean, I could have said that, but that's pretty much parroting what other people said, only I said it in a more articulate format, and really people don't really care that I'm actually stealing points from other people and just repeating what everyone says. That inconveniences everyone, so I felt, why not butt out? But, lo and behold, we have Unsealedcross. He did a commentary on Sailor Moon Red 1. Now, he's a new commentator. He's a novice commentator. Of course, he would make such choices, and I guess you could say it was a mistake on his part. Even though, it wasn't complete crap, the target that he used was something that Ricky talked about, was something that other commentators talked about, and really, I mean, he could not have said too much else besides what other people have said. So then SmugleafCarries On, being a better commentator than Unsealedcross, jumps in on the game and commentates on his poorly done commentary on Sailor Moon Red 1. And that's a third degree commentary right there. Or a third dimensional commentary right there. And that I don't have too much of a problem with. But then you have PreciselyRarity. This was his first commentary. He did a fourth-dimensional commentary on everything that's been happening so far in regards to Smugleaf, Unsealed, and Sailor Moon Red One. And this is a piece of advice to all new up-and-coming commentators. Don't start with a multi-degree commentary as your first commentary. The reason is because, not just because there's a stigma attached to it, I'm not trying to buy into that because that's, again, subjective interpretation. This is because you want to start simple. You want to start where at your roots at a rudimentary level. I recommend just doing a second-degree commentary, you know. And by second, I mean in regards to just doing it on a video that is just a video. Not a video where someone commentated on it, not a video where someone else spouted their viewpoints and did a crap job of it. No, just a video that's crap. Just the actual, you know, stock video. The actual source of the video. Nothing else. Nothing else. That should be your first commentary. But PreciselyRarity made the dull move to do a fourth-degree commentary. So then ZM Anonymous, in his infinite wisdom, decides to do a commentary on that. Now, it was a fifth-degree commentary, and I'm sure ZM, being a very seasoned commentator, understood the risks involved. So he did it, and it was pretty good. But lo and behold, we have his polar opposite, SassPD22, who did a very bad commentary on PreciselyRarity. Okay? And it was a fifth-degree commentary. This fifth-dimensional commentary, coupled with the fact that his commentary was complete crap to begin with, means that, you know, a bunch of people were going to jump in anyway because everyone dislikes SassPD22 at this point. I don't know any people who actually praised his works, and if they did, they probably were trying to make him feel better about himself. So here we are at the sixth-degree commentary level, or the sixth-dimensional commentary level, and we have three more commentators in the mix. A good commentator, TOG Professor, our up-and-coming commentator, Mr. Sir Raven, by the way, hello Iceland, and finally, Death Critic, who we all know is a mediocre commentator who doesn't script, and when he does script, his grammar and spelling errors are pretty much apparent, and that makes his commentaries atrocious. That inspired ZM Anonymous again to participate in the huge, you know, freight train of commentaries and make a seventh-degree commentary. Then Corin the Bear, who saw all this shit go on, did somewhat of a commentary on Death Critic and on SassPD22. So I'm just including him in the chart just because it's not really a response, it's more along the lines of a commentary. So for all intents and purposes, he is like 7th degree. But Corin the Bear and ZM Anonymous actually did make very decent commentaries to begin with. The thing is, though, when you're doing a 7th degree, it's pretty hard to do so. It's pretty hard to make good content. ZM Anonymous' video was close to 12 minutes, and that's supremely shocking considering it's a 7th degree commentary. Adam's 5th degree commentary video was literally divided into 6 parts. And this was when the YouTube time limit was 10 minutes. Okay, so you can bet how long it was. It was literally close to an hour long. I mean, the hour-long commentary thing also isn't a new thing either, because you had people like Ricky and Slappy doing a commentary on Wayno Percy 6, and that was literally an hour long, and people enjoyed it, because Ricky and Slappy knew how to make a good commentary as a result. So, you know, it's all subjective interpretation. Now, after all this has happened, after all these commentaries were made, people complained and people moaned. So, the response videos were made. This chart that you see on your screen right now are all the response videos that were made, including commentaries on them. Yes, folks, people were so angry about the response videos that they decided to do commentaries on them, and they were exceptionally poor. So here we have MSkull01, here we have the Mystery Oven thing, and Cirque commentates on, I guess. Now, MSkull is the commentator. He is one of the best in our whole community. He knows what he has to say, he says what he needs to say, and people just, you know, people see him as, you know, a very strong figure. And I agree with MSkull to an extent, that the idea that the multi-dimensional commentary thing is supremely useless unless you know what to do. Okay, and I understand MSkull's sentiment. The Mystery Oven thing was way more serious. In fact, he was more succinct, more incisive, and more angry about it. That's probably why it inspired some people to do commentaries on him, or at least the guy that you see on the screen right now. Then Cirque commentates on, there's a very short vignette about it, comparing it to a caucus race. Now, I still don't completely understand where he comes from with this. You could have said a whirling dervish, or an infinite pool, or, you know, an infinite loop of this. But I guess either way, he did hit the point home that yes, it was completely useless. But the thing I disagree with all these people on, including M-Skull, is that if you do it right, then the whole idea and the bias of the multidimensional commentary completely evaporates. If people know that they did a great job on the multidimensional commentary, then you really shouldn't put that much of a bias on it. It's all subjective interpretation. It's like if I got angry that someone's video was very long, but at the same time, they did a good job with it. Like, for instance, people were angry that Junior Fan and Unsealedcross did a 45-minute commentary. Now, from my perspective, Unsealedcross is trying to improve. But, you know, I mean, even then, it wasn't that spectacular. So, my experience was kind of, you know, diluted, and the excitement factor of the video decreased because they really did not do exceptionally well. They did fine, but not exceptionally well, and therefore, it was a laborious task to sit through a 45-minute video. However, if you're engaging throughout the whole video, and if you want to engage your audience and you have a bunch of energy in your videos, then that means that the 45 minutes will just fly. And you will have so much fun watching it that you won't realize it's been 45 minutes, unless if you're really that impatient. So again, the stigma just dissolves into thin air because you entertain your audience. Now here's the funny thing about these response videos. The Mystery Oven thing was commentated on by Thunder the Hedgehog 21. And he felt that he was wrong because he was overreacting and that he didn't get his facts straight. Okay, I would have found that completely valid were it not for the fact that it wasn't even a one-shot. It was a text commentary where he just chimed in like 5 times, and his like comments actually weren't that well structured, and all he did was nitpick. Therefore, his one-shot was completely useless, and all it did was make things worse. I Am Wolf 134 is like literally a copy of Thunder the Hedgehog 21, but with terrible grammar. Because you see, they both did one-shots where they did text commentaries, text-based commentaries. Only some people can do this. Patch 93 was able to do it, Corn the Bear was able to do it, DNE 909 was able to do it. Those guys can't do it. They just can't. It does not work for them. That really detracted from the overall quality of both of their videos. They literally are copies of each other. Except I Am Wolf 134 didn't do so well when he commentated on Cirque Commentates On. Because his points, again, fell flat on his own face, and his points did not resonate. His points did not have any substantive qualities. They had no proof to back it up, and all he did was say, no, you're wrong, and that he overreacted. And again, you see here that this is first and second dimensional, because they did a one-shot. Who knows what will happen next? Based on the volatile nature of the commentary community, I'm not surprised that people might do one-shots on Thunder or I Am Wolf. And that, if that's the case, then all you're doing is making things worse. Now, see, this all goes back to M-Skull, the Mystery Oven thing, and Cirque Commentates On. Okay, they had legitimate problems with multiple dimensional commentaries. You know what? I don't have too much of a problem with them, but they are a laborious task, and they're hard to do, and only certain people can make them entertaining. But for the most part, it's a Herculean task, and I wouldn't be caught dead doing it because it's completely out of control. I actually draw the line after third dimensional because so many people are chiming in, making their opinions, so many people are saying things, and I barely can keep track. The only way I can keep track is if I form mental pictures in my head. But even then, that's so laborious that people might get detracted and just go away. That's why M-Skull, T-Mod, and Cirque were angry. Because they knew that those videos are completely pointless. Now, you can argue that my response video is following a bandwagon. But in the end, do we really have to make such negative connotations with bandwagons? Unless if you're parroting what everyone else has been saying, then yeah, jumping on a bandwagon is a bad thing. However, if you actually go to an overly done target, but do an exceptional job of commentating, then the stereotype is lifted. And as a result, the generalization does not apply to you because you entertained the masses, and you felt that contributing to the bandwagon provided a new edge for the bandwagon, and that you provided your own unique style. And that unique style resonated. And as a result, you've done exceptionally well, and the whole bandwagon thing should not even apply to you. You see, that's the idea with subjective interpretation. It only provides stereotypical remarks and just a bias towards anything. The commentary community is literally diseased with this idea or notion that there are certain distinct rules that if we don't follow them, commentaries are completely shit. And as a result, because of people having completely closed minds about this, that's why people get angry, make these one-shots, or make these commentaries. And M-Skull, T-Mod, and Cirque are kind of on the side of reason regarding this, But you still have to remember that these people have subjective opinions. My opinion may be subjective too. I'm not going to say that my opinion is stone cold fact, because an opinion is not fact. But coming from my perspective, and as a member of the commentary community, and as a member of the community who's been around for, like, I guess 2 years at this particular point, I guess if you want to include me being around since 2009 doing commentaries, I feel that all this is just ridiculous. The 7th Dimensional commentaries, while they may be completely hard to follow, ZM did a good job with it, and so did, so did Corin the Bear when he did his response. ZM should not be getting as much flack as he got now. I understand that the 7th degree commentaries are hard to trudge through, but really ZM did try to reduce the length of the video. 12 minutes is exceptional. My videos, which are mostly just 2nd degree commentaries, if you want to consider the original source material, the first dimension, okay? My videos are probably longer than his. Most of my commentaries are probably like between 15 and 20 minutes. His was like 12. That's impressive, especially for a 7th degree commentary. As for Corin the Bear, he did make a bunch of skip it things, and he edited a lot, and he cut lots of the video out, and he sliced and diced. But in the end, what he said actually did have some resonance. And I mean, even if it was a text commentary, which I still don't really like too much, he hit the point home. And that dissolved the stereotype. Corin the Bear is actually living, breathing proof that you can dissolve the stereotype by entertainment. So, what did I learn from all this? I learned that people are overreactive. I learned that people have legitimate problems with this. And I learned how people just are so desperate to get themselves out there that they will do anything, whether it's a multidimensional commentary or whether they do one-shots on people who are actually legitimately giving an opinion about this. And really, if you're going to do a crappy one-shot on this, then it's only going to exacerbate the problem. However, if you had legitimate issues with these guys, with M-Skull or T-Mod or Cirque, you probably could have just done a great one-shot, or you could have actually thought it through and said to yourself, I'm just going to leave a comment on their videos, the end. Really, it should not have expanded this way, and honestly, all this could have been prevented if people didn't have bias, if people didn't stereotype, and if people just did not feel desperate to jump in and do a commentary. So to people like Death Critic or SassPD22, maybe before you make commentaries, try to think yourself through. Think your scripts through, think your thoughts through, think your counterpoints through. And even with PreciselyRarity, start simple. Don't jump the gun. Don't do a commentary that's 4th degree in origin or 4th dimensional in origin just so you can attack a person, you know? Say that SmugleafCarries On is wrong. Okay. Save that for later. Put that in your, play later box or something, or put it in a vault. That's what I have, a commentary vault. I wait for people to do commentaries and then I jump in. Or I found a video that I feel I can talk about and I just save it for later. So do that next time, PreciselyRarity. Find a video that you feel is stupid, and if it's like a multi-degree commentary, and if it's your first commentary, then don't do it. That goes to all people who are novice commentators. This is just a recommendation. Don't jump in with a 4th degree, because then this happens, this domino effect happens. And as a result, this whole tangled web that we wove is the result of people who just did not meet expectations in commentaries. And as a result, we saw both sides of the commentary spectrum. Great and terrible. And it just extended to absolutely no end. And like, I really should not give too much pressure to ZM Anonymous because he did do a good job commentating. But this should apply to those who commentated and did a poor job at it, and then just extended something that should not have been extended in the first place. So to those people, I rebuke them, and I tell them and implore them to actually try harder when you do commentaries, because we don't want to see a huge conglomeration of commentaries and a huge conglomeration of response videos as a result. Okay? This is not completely a bandwagon, but I mean, if everyone's going to respond to this and everyone's going to talk about it, maybe it is. But this is something that should be talked about, because these things should not have an extended lifespan that's longer than the lifespan of a cockroach after a nuclear holocaust. So, after me blabbing for exactly 20 minutes about this, and given the fact you probably fell asleep, my thoughts about this is, I'm sure those 20 minutes passed by. I'm sure those 20 minutes just flew by over your head, okay? Unless if you're really that impatient. That shows that I can entertain you guys and probably keep you guys motivated for 20 minutes straight. I don't know about you, but I think I properly stated what my points are, and I did use enough energy, as much energy as possible, to go from point A to point B to point C without skipping a beat, okay? So this is all I really have to say. This is a response to everything that's been going on, and I'm sorry it's exceptionally long. Please don't give it like a negative stigma towards it. That's it. That's all I have to say. I really hope that this hits home with everyone. I really do. Because, let's face it, you know, I don't want to talk about this again. This is all I have to say. And again, please excuse the length. Please, I beg of you. The length should not be a problem. It should not. Because this is just me speaking voluminously about the topic. And that's all I have to say. This is Youngblood Fantasy 91. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all in the brighter later.